Thank you so much, ma'am. We can turn off. Okay, thank you. So yes, yesterday we have discussed about what. So what is Java and what is class, objects, methods, and how we will be using in the. So just we have some recap. So we discussed about what is Java. So that is the data types. We discussed here. There is no data types here. Okay, Java, oops, concepts, right? What is inheritance, encapsulation, sorry, abstractions, interface, and what are the different types of inheritance we have, and what is called as class, what is called as objects, methods. So these are the different things we come across, right? So today we are going to see about servlets, JSP, and one more thing is JSTL and expression language. Okay, so first we'll understand what is this term, okay, how we are going to use this. Okay, so just yeah, this is servlet. Okay, so first we'll discuss what is servlet and what is the difference and why we are going for a servlet option. Okay, so if you want to handle a web data, so if it is a web application, okay, if I want to interact with a database, then I'm going to use Java instead of normal HTML and CSS JavaScript. So how I can implement? I can use it in a two ways. Either I can go with servlet and JSP. Okay. So see here, these are the things you will be learning. So what is a paradigms? Yesterday we have discussed annotation. Today we will discuss what is annotation and the understandings of server-side scripting. So see here, actually this is introductions of web application. Okay, so how it works. Actually, my Bluetooth is not connecting. Yeah. So, so see here, so how the web application is working and what is the different and why we are going for. Okay. So see here, example, if I want to refer some software system. Okay. So actually you can see this picture, right? So in this we have something called as web client, and that is going to interact with a web component and Java piece. So if I show it in this picture instead of this, we'll go to the next picture. So first we'll see the definition. Okay. So actually this web applications refers to the software system that provides a user interface through the web browser. For example, I have a web browser. Okay, in that I can enter my username and the password. Okay, once I enter the username and the password, that data is going to store in database. Let me tell you the work for this. See
Ma'am,
here.
please share your screen.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Now, can you see the screen? Okay. So
Yes.
here, yeah. So here you can see this is called as a web application. So why we are going for the servlet and JSP? So that we should understand. So actually, if you want to create some web application, what you will do? Mostly we will go with the HTML and CSS, something like that, right? So instead of doing directly in the web browser, I'm going to do it using a Java. So inside Java, I'm going to create some files. So let's take very simple. So see here, this is my client, and we'll take it this as a backend. Okay. backend like server. Okay, and here I have a database. So example scenario I will tell you. So if it is the normal HTML and CSS file, so what it will do, this will just collaborate with a web server, but actually it will run on the web browser, right? So it doesn't need any kind of compilation. So no need of compilation. So nothing we need for this particular thing. But if I use Java, that is especially a servlet and JSP, so what happens is, so it will not run on the web server. It actually needs a web server. That is, example, we can take multiple web servers are there. Go and check web server list. So see here, these are the different web server. So whatever the server you can take, it is like it will store a data, a sample data. You can directly use a Apache Tomcat, or you can use N, or you can go with some exam. So you might have heard about this, right? Exam. So whatever the server you feel it is good, you can use it off. So these are the web servers. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are writing a code using a servlet and JSP in Java, okay, this is also called as a web application. Okay, so we are going to create a web application using servlet and JSP. Here also we are creating a web apps, right? So both are same, but what is the difference? Actually, here you don't want to use anything special, but here if you see, you definitely need a server and you need to compile this program, right? So this is very, very must in this thing. So both are similar only. So here also I can use a .html file to run. Okay. So in this itself, you can understand. So as of now, we have discussed about Java standard application. So we have so far discussed about Java standard application. So what is Java standard application? Is a normal application, so which we normally created. Example, I'll show you in the Eclipse itself. So if I go drive, let me select Eclipse. So it is running at the back end. Okay, I'll tell you there are two terms, okay, like Java enterprises application. So what is called as enterprises application? If you see the enterprises application, you will be creating a web applications. Okay, there are two modes in this. So you can either use a Java application. If you go and see, let me take a Java basics. Okay, if I run this particular code, what it shows on the right click, so run as run configuration, it is showing like that, right? So there is some option called in the Windows preference. If you select this, so here you can see Java W. Okay, you need to choose this, or else you can directly go to the Windows and you select on perspective, open perspective. Just click on this. Okay, so here you need to select into Java W. Okay, just click on open. So now, actually, this is in a Java EE, that is Enterprises Edition. So I'll tell you the steps how to do this. Okay. So close all this. Okay, Ma. So, what I'm trying to say, yeah. So I'll tell you the steps how we need to follow this. Okay. So let me open the notepad. So I'll just clear how we need to work. Okay. So if you want to, use server side programming or web application, so you need to change the mode. First thing is you need to change uh, this into enterprises application. So how we can do this? So we need to go to the Windows option, okay, and we need to change it a perspective to what? We need to change into Java EE, okay, and also we need to download Apache Tomcat. So let me show you this. Apache Tomcat. You can see some links, right? So just copy this. So here, if you come down, there is some option called zip file, right? So you need to download this particular zip file. Here if you go and check, you need to convert this folder. Actually I have converted this folder and I have saved it in I have saved it in this particular thing. So see here I have two things, right? So sorry, this is my Apache Tomcat. So here I have downloaded 9.0.1. So this is my folder. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to download Apache Tomcat. Okay, I'm going to use this server. If you want to use a different server, yes, you can do it. Okay, so after doing this, you need to set a path. Okay, so the same procedure what we done yesterday for Java. So again, what you need to do, edit environment variables. Okay, just go here, go to the edit option, system environment, just select on environmental variable. So here, yeah, so here you have something, right? See here you can give a name like, so in the user variable you need to give a name as what? The variable name should be Catalina underscore home. So this is a default name, so you can give this, and value is going to be which place it has been stored. If I go and check, if I go and check in my C drive, okay, so in the program files, so under this you can see Apache software, right? So 10.0 here I doesn't have anything, so then I need to copy and paste it this one, that is Eclipse. This one I need to copy and paste. Okay, so better what I can do is, if I copy this and put it in the C drive. Okay. So now I have these things. I'll just copy this. I'll change that user variable. So if you want to change this, what you need to do? You need to click on edit and paste this one and save it here and click on OK. Okay, so this is the way you will be updating the server. Okay, so you need to give the path. So example is this, like this you will be giving a path. So once you given a path, you need to set the server. Okay, just go to here. Here you have some tabs, right? Server. Actually there will not be any server tabs. Okay, so before, if it is a Java normal application, there will not be anything like that. So what you need to do is you need to go here, and in the preference you can see server. In this runtime environment you need to add the things. If example, where exactly it is placed, so what version exactly I'm going to use, I'm going to use 9.0, right? So you need to choose it. Okay, what is the procedure? What do you need to do? So you need to that is go to the Windows preference. Once you go there, you will be having a server. In that you need to choose runtime environment. After choosing this, you need to choose the path where exactly it is seen. Okay, clear? So after doing this, you can see the server tab here. So if you double click on this, see here, actually this is your server port. Okay, so for each and every server, it will be running on particular port. So sometimes it will not accept the port which you have mentioned, because it may be a default port for some other things, right? So at the time you can edit the port also, that is also possible. Okay, and if you want to create a new things, go here, and you can see the server, right? So here you need to create a new server. So again you need to choose. Clear, guys? So after getting a server tab, need to select on sorry, right click, empty space. Okay, then you will be getting an option called new. You need to choose a server, which server you are going to run. Clear, everyone? So until this you understood, so how to set a server. After doing this, you'll be getting this server tab. Just close this. So after setting this server tab, yes. So now we are good to go. We can use a server to run a codes. Okay. So let's see how we can work on it. So these are the steps for inserting a Apache Tomcat. So let me share this. So you can also try it from your end. Yeah, I'll upload it here. Okay, better I will upload later. Okay, so once I've complete with this all the topic. Screen is not visible. Okay. Now, then we'll move on to the same thing. So here they have mentioned, right? So this is how it will be. So see here, this is a client and this is a server. So what exactly the server will do? So let's take for an example, real-time example. So in Swiggy and another Zomato, like there are so many applications are there for getting your food, right? So there are so many users are there, but there is only one product. Example, I have one hotel, so I'm running this hotel, so I'm a server now. Okay, I'm the running the hotel, and whatever the clients is asking, I'm going to give them exactly what they need. Understood? So that is all about a web server. So web server, there will be one web server, but there are many clients will be there. Okay, and whatever they are asking, it will be given. So that is called as web server. And they have also mentioned static web page are stored in a file system of the web server. Usually it displays the name information to all the visitors. Okay. So actually, if you take this web server, so in this web server, there will be a certain files will be mentioned. If example, if I'm asking any particular file, what the server will do, the server will find, so what the user is searching for, it will take that particular file from the system and it will display. Okay. And the third point is the dynamic pages are constructed by the program that produces the HTML. The last point is this types of web application provides the individual informations to the user. Let them personalize the content according to their preference. Okay. So whatever they are expecting, so that's gonna be happen dynamically, right? So that is called as a dynamic web application. So we are going to create that. And how the static web works. So this is a static web work. So how it is working? So see here the browser is request a static page. Okay, so it is requesting for the static page, and what happens? This particular server, finds the page and it is giving a response to the web browser. So this is how it is working. And what is called as server side scripting. So if you see, there are so many, server side scripting. So we already know one is the familiar, that's PHP and JSP. So these are all called as a what? A server side scripting. So it will be, communicating with the server. So that is the reason it is called as a server side scripting. Okay. And what is the process in which the server data transforms into an HTML response before it's sent to the web browser? Okay, what is a actually before going to the web server, what it will does, it will be converting that particular things into one what HTML things. Okay, and it is interactive. And what is Java servlet? So today we will discuss about what is Java servlet. So see here, these servlets are an important component of J2W. J2W means Java Enterprises Edition application. For that purpose, we are using this. While you are doing your capstone projects and all, after completing your program, so you'll be creating a project. So at that time, we need your project, right? So you can create a project using Java Servlet and JSP. If you're doing that, definitely the companies will, will hire you. So there are so many possibilities are there, advantages are there. Okay, the servlet is a Java programming language that we already know. So actually, this is created using a Java. And why we have created this? Why we need servlet? We already running the applications, right? Why we need this? This is mostly created for the web application. So we are going to create a web things which is going to run on the web browser. For that reason, we have created this. And servlets are used to extend the application hosted by the web server. This is all about servlet. Okay, we learned what is servlet. So now we'll understand so what is the life cycle. Example, see here, actually this is the way it will start. So how it will be interacting with the client. That is how the data will be, moving. So each and everything they have mentioned. See here, at the starting, the loading and initiation is happening using an init method. Using init method only we can do this. Okay, and the next thing is the service method. So what the service method will do is it will manage the request and the response. So how it is going to handle, so everything will be happen within the service method. And finally we have a destroy method. So after completing all this, it will get destroyed. So what is the whole process is all about? So whole process is init method, service method, and destroy. So init and destroy will be happened only once. Okay. But if you check with the service method, this will be happen multiple times. Okay. So next we'll move on. We'll run the code. So just give me some time. I will explain you what it is and then you will understand how we can run the code. Okay. So this is servlet architecture. So see here the web browser giving the HTTPS request, hypertext transfer protocol, and so that request is not going to the database directly. You can see. So that request is not going to the database directly. What it is doing, it is interacting. That request is going to the servlet container. Okay, so it is having a servlet container, so it is going over there, and that servlet will give the response of that particular database. So this is a servlet architecture. So what are the advantages if I use servlet? So see here, if I use servlet, um, it provides a component based and platform independent methods for building a web based application, and each request is run in a separate thread. Okay, so see here, if you see in this picture there is some request, right? So if I have some two to three requests, if I want to get the method, sorry, get the request, if I want to pose a request, so these are some two to three services, right? So everything will be running on a separate, so run in a separate thread. So servlet request processing is faster than CGI. So we'll understand what is CGI in the next slide. Okay. So first we'll confirm servlets overcomes the limitations of CGI program, and this run on the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Yesterday we discussed, right? So what is the main purpose we are doing, and this is more powerful. And there are some other advantages they have mentioned. Again, this is a platform independent. If you see this, in addition to improved performance, so fully integrated with Java language and this standard API. So JDBC also is possible here. We can also connect the database with the servlet. It's a very nice option, right? Yes. Next to the servlet handles the concurrent requests. So just come down. So here you can see some disadvantages of servlet. Servlets often contain both business logic and presentation logic, so it makes application difficult to understand. So you need JRE to be installed to run a Java, that is servlet program. Let's see how it will be. So these are the advantages. So I told you, right? So what is CGS? So common gateway interface. Actually, before servlet, this was a in a booming. So then when a servlet came, so we were not using this. Okay. So see here, the servlets are portable. We can because this is used by JVM, right? So JVM used thing can definitely be a portable and platform independent. When you see here, the CJ is not portable and it depends upon the OS processors. Okay, this can directly link to the web server, but CJ cannot directly link to the web server. Okay, and servlet can read and set the HTTP header. Here we cannot. So let's move on to the next slide. So if you want to use a servlet API, so what is the main important thing is, okay, so if I want to use a servlet API, this servlet API is supported by all the servlet containers such as Tomcat, WebLogics, etc. Okay, so all the some web server in the sense what, Tomcat, WebLogic, and Nginx, and some exam, WAMP. So there are so many things are there, right? So that particular servers are using this servlet API. Okay, so what this will contain? So actually, this servlet API, that is application programming interface, is nothing but it will contain the interfaces. Yesterday we discussed what is interface and classes, right? So this servlet API will contain the default, or which is used very important for the servlet, which is already be there using this servlet API. So if you want to use the servlet API, it contains two packages. So if you use this in your coding, so then you don't want to worry whether the servlet is working fine or not. Okay. So these are the two important packages we need for servlet API. And what are the things we need to execute this web application? Yes, we already know. We need Java development kit. Yes, Java. So we already installed it. And Servlet API. Servlet API is nothing but the two simple things, right? We will be implementing it. And the next one is Eclipse ID. Okay. So in Eclipse ID, yes, I do already have. So if you go and check Java, uh, you know, uh, editors. See here, apart from Eclipse, so I'm using Eclipse. You can also try these things. So NetBeans are there, Visual Studio. You can use IntelliJ IDEA. So this is also in PyCharm. So everything we can run, Java code so that they are trying to specify. But why we are using Eclipse is actually the most of the industries are using uh, Eclipse. Okay, 80 percentage of IT industries are using Eclipse. That's the reason we are going with Eclipse. Okay, and the next thing is we need Tomcat application server. Yes, that also we have installed. So this is a simple example they have given. So before going to the example, let's check into the creation. So how to create a web application. Okay, just go here, go to the file, and new. After changing the a platform to Java W, here you can see dynamic web project. Just click on dynamic web project. See here, file new dynamic web projects, and you need to create a project name. Example I'm giving. After giving this, you can check what target things you are going to use. Let me give it as Apache Tomcat. And what is the model version you are going to use, and click on next, and then click on next. Here it is asking whether we can generate the web.xml deployment descriptor. So this is, we definitely need this web.xml. Why? Because actually if you are trying to run some code, okay, using this web.xml only, you will be directing the routes. If I have some different files, okay, so if I have a different files, I should mention what particular file I'm going to that is route to. For that purpose, we need this web.xml. Once I give this, it is running. So here, if you go and check, so this is called as a pom.xml. Before this, so this is my file, right? So this is the thing we have created. See here, these are the different folders. It will get installed once you create a dynamic web project. Okay. So if I click on this, you can see a deployment descriptor in Java X W Web Services, Java so resource. Actually, guys, in this particular for different folders, we will be working on this Java resource, and then this SRC will be working on this web app and web. So these are the three folders we'll be working with. Okay. So now, so after doing this, what they are saying, see here, complete the directory structure. Yes, we have done. So now click on first, go to see here, Java resource SRC, right? Here you need to right click, and you need to create a servlet. So I already have created. Let me show you. Let me check whether it is that it has been directed. Yeah, it is directed already. Okay, we'll check this code. 1 minute. Let me run this code whether it is loading. Yeah, it is working. Okay, so I'll tell you how it works. So here you need to create, go to new. Here you need to mention servlet. And what is the servlet name? Okay, just click on next, next, and click on finish. Okay, so like this, you will be creating a servlet file. So after creating this, I will just show you a different file. Yeah. So this is the exact servlet file which we are seeing now. See here, the first thing is if you want to get the input and output, so we have mentioned as import java.io dot start. Okay. So after this, you can see public class. So what is the extent is depends upon. So we have discussed, right? So we need HTTP servlet. Okay, uh, that is the extended class we are using here to import this one. That is Java X dot. So here in the PPT, I'll show you. Here that is HTTP servlet. So here I'm using it and just extending using this class. And I'm creating a field, nothing but a private string message. After this, I need some three things. What are the things I need? Yes. So if you go here and check, see here we have something called as init method, right? First time we are trying to initiate the method. So what it is showing, so public void init of, this gonna throw a servlet exception. So actually this throws keyword is used in a methods only. So if you are trying to add multiple exceptions also, we can also add that. Okay, throws keyword is used for exception purpose, right? So here I'm using a servlet exception. So inside this, uh, do require the initialization of this particular field value, that is variable name. So here I'm giving a value as hello world. So once I've given here, the what is the next part? It is service. Just come here. So this is my service part. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so the next part is so here this particular part is called as service, right? So this is called as a service part. So see here in the servers, we have two parameters, that is HTTP request and the response. Okay, so I'm going to pass these two parameter in a do get method. Okay, this is my the object, so which I'm going to use. So here also what happens, I'm going to use a throws keyword. So I already told you, so if you are going to use a throw keyword in the method, then you can use a multiple exceptions. Okay, and to set the response content type. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to, if example I want my response in a text and HTML file, then I will be setting this set content type to be what, the value is going to be a set text and HTML. And what is the actual logic goes here, so I just want to print the value which is given by the, that is in the servlet. Okay, so actual logic goes here. So here I'm using a print writer. Okay, there's a class name, and then here I'm using a out object. So once I've given this, I need this response again, that is this particular object. So I'm using that, and I'm getting a method. I'm going to write that particular value here. Okay, this is very very simple example. So once I done this, I'm going to print. So to print it in a servlet, I need this out dot print line. Okay, clear? So now finally this will not going to do anything. So I'm, but just I'm giving a destroy method here. So overall the process is completed. Clear? So why we are using the servlet? The first thing is we need to create a web application. The second thing is we are going to initialize and serve use a service method and destroy method. Now the next thing is how I'm going to get the routing values. If example, go to the web.xml. I already told you we need definitely we need a web.xml in this, right? So if we go and check the here we have something called as, see here so this is actually default thing. Okay, this is a default, first two lines are default. Here you need to decide so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a servlet and I'm going to map it, okay, with the things. So first, what is the name of this particular servlet name? So what is the servlet name we have created? That is hello world. Okay, so that's why here they have mentioned as hello world, and the class name also the hello world. And when you come down the servlet name, that is I'm going to map the servlet name as hello world, and what is the URL pattern. So if I'm just deleting this slash, okay, I'm just saving this file. If I go and run, let's see whether we are getting an output. So here is the file, run on server. So this is running on the server now. See here it is throwing nothing, the values is throwing, right? So for that what we need to do, we need to mention here, just get here and give a slash and save it off. Okay. Now if you run, so now I'm getting the direction. So you need to exactly give the mapping value. So this is a very simple understanding how we are going to work with servlet. Okay. So the next part is So we understand the basics things. Okay, so while completing Java, we'll do the real time application. So how we can do it. Okay, as of now, you understand what is servlet, right? So now, so here they have given so descriptions of element used in web.xml file. So there will be a web app, servlet name, servlet class, mapping, URL pattern. So these are the things you'll be having. In within the servlet, you'll be having servlet name and servlet class. And in the servlet mapping, you'll be having a servlet name and URL pattern. Okay. So this is the following example step by step. So how it is working. So first the index.html or whatever the file we have given, the servlet file. So it will be interacting, that is goes to the browser and it will check which particular file you are going to redirect. If for example we have multiple files. So advantages of a web.xml file. So the first benefits, if you see, we can write it on own markup languages. There is no restricted to limited sets of tags. Defining our own tag can create a markup language in terms of specific problem. Searching the data is easy and efficient, so completely compatible with Java and 100% portable. So this is a simple execution, so how it is working. See here the first part, let me increase the size. Yeah, so it is a little bit good. Okay, first if I type hello, okay, hello world, it will be directing to the URL pattern as hello. Okay, to the web.xml. The first thing is it is going to the web.xml, and then from there, where it does go, it goes to the hello servlet.java file. Okay, it will be going to the Java file, and finally it is getting the output. We are getting a output. So like this. Okay, clear. So what happens? So first you are giving it in the URL. It will be directing to the web.xml, and then it will go on to the hello servlet.java, and finally you will be getting the output. It's a clear representation. So how the request and response is handled. So in the example also we see what is servlet, right? So this servlet handles a various client request and provides their response. So how it is happening? So this is happening through servlet request and the response. Okay. Actually, if you see the servlet request and response is an interface. Okay. So actually this is an interface whose object is used to provide the informations of each request to the servlet. Okay. So what are these two things? This is a that is interface, that is, and the how we will be giving the request dispatch in the servlet. So this we will see later. Yeah. So now we will see how the cookies and the sessions work with servlet. If I go here, so I already have one file. So let me check whether it is working. So the same thing, Ma, what you need to do again for cookies also, that is a web application. So I'm going to create that using a what file, new, and you need to create a dynamic web project. Okay, so everything will be the same, but here I have uploaded some files. Actually, I've not done anything here. I think so. Using main.jsp file. For that, we should understand what is GSP. So that I close this. Let me check whether I have used this session cookie. Okay, then we'll come to understand about the cookies and session after involving with GSP. Okay, so give me a minute. Let me close this folder file. Okay, so again, you should understand what is the difference between the servlet and JSP first. Okay, so it is very very important thing. Okay, um, yeah. So why we are going for JSP? Actually, nowadays, most of them using a JSP instead of servlet. So JSP is nothing but what? Java server page. Okay. So what it does? If I go and check here, what is Java server page? They have given some theory. We'll just look into it. Okay. So see here, this is used to create a web application just like a servlet technology. So we already know what is servlet, right? So servlet is also used for the dynamic web page. The same thing here also we are using this for the same thing. So here the JSP is a text document that contains two types of text. One is static and dynamic, the same thing which applies servlet also, right? The static data can be expressed in any text based format. Okay, it can be HTML or it can be XML, SVG, WML, so whatever. Okay, and the dynamic content can be expressed by JSP elements. So just listen. So here they are talking about two things. One is HTML, XML, WML, and SVG. So what is all about? If you are trying to create any static web page, then you can go with HTML, XML, WML. Okay. But if I'm trying to create some dynamic content for the web page, then definitely I need to use JSP. Okay. Once again. Okay, so JSP is a dynamic content web page. Okay, so what is this? You can easily identify, right? So the next thing is if you go and check, uh, so here if you see here also we have some important life cycle. So what is this life cycle is all about? So this life cycle, if you see, the first part is a JSP file. Actually, there is some translation phase here. What it does is it will convert the JSP file into a servlet file, and then that servlet file will be converted into a servlet class. So what you can understand here, not directly a JSP file will be executed. So here what we are doing is we are converting a JSP file into servlet file, and then we are moving into servlet class. Okay, and then we are moving into this the same part which we have used in the servlet. So what is that? Init method. There we have directly given as a init method, but here we will be giving it as JSP init of and JSP service of and JSP destroy method. Like this we will be doing. Okay, and this is also called once. This is also called once. The same story. And if you see here in the service method, it handles a multiple request and sends a response. So have you understand so what is the life cycle is all about and why we are going for JSP? Okay, so in this JSP file, it will be converted to servlet file and servlet class, and then only it will be interacting with the initialization and service and destroy. Okay, so here we have some syntax what we need to follow. So there are some three different types of scripting elements we have. So one is called JSP expression, JSP scriptlet, and JSP declaration. So what is JSP expressions? So if you see this expression, some Java code we can give. If you are trying to give some expression, then we can go with this. And if suppose I'm trying to use kind of So in JSP scriptlet, this is some Java code will be implemented, and this is JSP declaration. Okay, a declaration part is at the topmost thing. So I will explain you in the code itself. And there are some implicit objects which we have. Okay, for example, implicit object is nothing but which is already a predefined object, which is already have it in your JSP itself, right? So that is called as an implicit object. So are the Java object than the JSP containers makes available to the web, that is developer in each page, and the developer can call them directly without being explicitly declared. We don't want to declare anything like, see here we have something like this one. Okay, for example, I have a class name called work, and I'm giving an object name as a and work of. I don't want to create any object like this. So if I mention this particular type in the topmost, that is instead of giving a header, what we will do, we will be importing some packages, right? So in the packages itself, inside that API itself, you'll be having this particular things. Okay, so you can implicitly use this objects. Okay, clear? For HTTP request, it is a request object, and if you see here, this is a response. Yeah, so these are the JSP directives. So directives are the instructions to the JSP container that describes what code should be generated. If I'm going to generate any values, that is any doubts of as of now, guys, it is understandable or not? Did you understand the concept, how it is working? Just give thumbs up so that I can understand.
Thumbs up ante ಕೊಡಂತಾಡಿಯಪ್ಪ.
So did you understand this concept or not, guys? I can hear some male voice. I don't know who it is. So actually, this is recording, guys. So please keep that in mind. Okay. So here in this directives, if you see the the instructions to the JSP container, so this describes what code should be generated. So what exactly, if example, I'm going to generate using a file name, or I'm going to use any tag library URI, or I'm going to use some attribute value. So it will just give you what kind of directives you are going to use. Okay. So here we have some three things, that is page directive, include directive, and tag lib directive. Okay. So in the page directive, you see uh, this is the way you'll be declaring. So before, okay. So what you need to do is, if it is a page director, you need to mention a modulo at. Okay, if it is a directive, so you need to mention as a modulo at. I will show you in the JSP file itself also. Okay, JSP file. If you want to create any JSP file, let me check. I have one. Yes, I have. So if I click on this, so here you can see this, right? So this is called as a page director file. Okay. So here they have mentioned what is the language, what kind of content it's going to be, everything they have mentioned. So like this, we have three kind of directors: page, include, and the tag library. Okay. And then how to create JSP file using Eclipse. The same thing it is followed here as well.
ఏడిదిరా రా మరి అడగలేదు నువ్వు నాటకం చేసుకుంటూ బిట్క కోసం ఉన్నదని చెప్తూ ఏ అడగల మరి డౌట్ పిల్లలా లేదా దా. ఒక్క నిమిషం.
Okay, guys. I don't know. Someone is talking in Telugu or something. I didn't understand. So if you have any questions, you can just post me in the chat box, or you can ask me. I don't know Telugu, so you can ask me in the chat box, or you can just unmute and tell me. Okay. So if you want to create a JSP file, the same thing. What you need to do, you have to go here and create new. Okay, new file. In this, you'll be seeing dynamic web projects. Just click on it. Here I'll be giving a name. Uh, yeah, JSP. Yeah, just click on next, next, and then you can also click on this web.xml. So after creating this, so this is my file, right? So here I'm going to create a JSP, that is JSP file. So here you don't want to create any servlet in a Java resource. Why? Because the JSP file itself will be converting into the what? Servlet file, and then it will be converting into a servlet class. So here you need to come here and just select here and click on right click and click on new and just select a JSP file, and I'm giving a file name as new dot, or I will be changing this to index dot JSP file. Just click on next, click on finish. Okay, so here you have created a JSP file, but there is no content. Okay, so like this you'll be creating a JSP file. So I have one file, so I'll just execute it. So to run this file, what you need to do is you just right click on this and on server, click on next and click on finish. So actually this is showing the correct time of this particular thing. So what I've the system I'm using. So Thursday and the March and everything. So what I have mentioned is, see here, this is exactly the same like a HTML file, but this is not a HTML file. For the implementation, okay, what you need to do is you need to use the JSP scriptlets. There are so many, scriptlets files are there. Okay, so for expression, for declaration, for each and everything, there are different things we have. Okay, so we need to follow that. So inside this, if you want to give an expression, what I told, so we need to give modulo equals to. So inside this, we'll be giving a method name, that is get instance, get item, that is time. That is it is under the Java util calendar package. Okay, this is under the Java util calendar package. So inside that I have some method. So what I'm doing is inside this HTML page, that is inside the JSP, I'm going to upload my Java file. Okay, so like this we will be doing, and now we'll see the initiate method how we can handle using JSP. Let me check whether I have that file or I will execute it. Let me check this. So it is not showing, so just let it. Okay, I'll tomorrow I'll show you the different example with a JSP. Okay, so how we can execute with the this one, what it is, the init method and everything. Okay, the same way how we did in a servlet. Okay, so the next part is, so this is a front end, and so how it is interacting with the server. So that they have discussed. See here. So here, the user is giving some data. Okay, like the first name and the last name. So it is requesting to the web server, and then it goes to the that is server extension, and then it moves on to the JSP engine, and again from the JSP engine it goes to the servlet engine and comes back, and you will be getting an output. So this is how the data is it is handling. Okay, and what are the client datas we have for form processing, that is get param value, get parameter name, get parameter, and input string. uh, so here we also have one more thing, so I'll just execute a cookies and the session files, which is created using a this JSP. Okay, using JSP they have created this one. So let's discuss this. Actually they have given a title as heading. If you come down, so this heading should be in a center. So here they are writing the code. So they have initialized the cookie variable as a null, and then for the each and every array which is getting from the browser, so that will also be calculated as a null. So what happen is, if the cookies is not equal to null, cookie is not equal to null, so it is not empty, then found the cookie's name and the value. So how many times the particular person have visited this website, or it will show the name and the value of the person. So how it has been calculated, obviously we need a for loop for this execution. So first we need to calculate what is the length. So what is the length, how we will get, we will request the get cookies. Okay, you will be getting a cookies using this predefined method. This request is also the implicit object, right? After doing this, let's check so how it works in a cookies. Just go here, click on right click and run on server. So no cookies found. So if I refresh, see here, if I'm visiting this particular website again, so it is showing my name and the value what it is going to be. Okay, and finally we will run the session cookies. So session, it will show the exact the IDs or the how many times I have visited. So everything it will be showing. So let's check. So see here, if you see in this particular place, so get the session creation time. So actually guys, one thing we need to know, for each and everything in Java there will be some predefined classes, objects, and the methods will be there. So we should understand so what all these. Okay, so first thing is, I'm giving a predefined, that is the class we are using for date. I've mentioned it. I have created a object name as creation time. So I'm going to set the creation time. So when it has been created. For this, I need object session dot get creation time as a method. Okay. So after this, I need a get last access time of this page. So the last time when it gave the access for that particular person. So for that, I'm creating one more variable name here, the session, and get last access time. So here I'm assigning a title to be what is the string it's going to be, and I have given the data types to be integer and the variable name, and I'm just initializing the integer value. So visit count. So I'm going to count how many times that particular person have visited. Okay, so here I've given that particular name, and I'm going to get the ID key and the string name. Okay, so these are the the process. So if the session is new, then it will tell you welcome to the website, and it goes to the session object. Okay, so the attribute is set attribute, and here you will be giving two parameters, that is user ID key and user ID. So what is user ID key and key? That is user ID. So here you will be getting a user ID. What exact for each and every time they will be creating some session ID for the particular person. Okay, so if example I'm Uma, I'm just visiting a Google, or I'm visiting some other website like EduNet. So what happened is it will create a session ID for this particular website and another particular session ID for that particular website. Okay, so this is all about a session IDs. If I come down, if I just check a visit counts and the get attribute visit count key, so this will be incremented if that particular person has been visited multiple times. Okay, and this gonna be get the attribute of that ID key, and this both value will be displayed, that is visit count key and visit count attributes. Okay, let's so we'll see some simple codes tomorrow using JSP and everything. So today I'm just discussed what it is and how we can run it. Okay, just try it on your system. Tomorrow we will see simple execution using this JSP and submit. Okay, let me run this. So it cannot run on the normal Java exception. So let me stop that. See here, it has been it is showing the ID, session time, and the last access and user ID. So if I go and refresh, you can see the number of visit has been increased. If I'm just clicking again, it is 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes on, right? So this is a session tracking. You can also do that. And the next thing is so tomorrow we will discuss about JSTL and expression language. Okay. So let me stop the recording.